Hello， 各位亲爱的观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看由星际老男孩主办、斗鱼直播冠名赞助的斗鱼杯 WTL 2024夏季赛季后赛的比赛直播现场。我是今天的主持人陈小兔。那么在开始之前，也是要感谢斗鱼直播、biu biu 加速器、星际老男孩以及奥峰对于我们赛事的大力支持。来自世界各地的12支队伍，经过几个月的角逐，最终要在这几天决出我们最后的一个冠军。那么经过昨天的比拼 ，TL 已经成功晋级到了今日的比赛，而 Clam 选手更是在昨天完成了 All Kill 的壮举。那我们也是来看一下目前的晋级情况。我们的比赛也是全程采取冒泡赛的赛制，两支队伍将进行大家非常熟悉的 BO2 KOF 的赛制。今天也是会为大家带来2轮比赛，首场比赛将由 TL 对阵 SR。WBG 在第2场比赛将会迎接第1场比赛的胜者，而今天最终的胜者会晋级到明天的比赛当中。好了，那么在我们今天的比赛正式开始之前，有一场大家迫不及待想要看到的精彩鸡霸杯马上就要开始了。在昨天的比赛里面，小色成功战胜了 CranKy， 成功开上路虎。那今天 F91 会对上 MaNa。在昨天我对 MaNa 的采访当中，他已经说自己是 F91 的粉丝，但是今天对 F91 一定不会手下留情。那么究竟谁可以晋级来争夺这个双修王的殊荣呢？让我们一起来拭目以待吧。那接下来要把画面交给我们准备看好戏的2位解说。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the World Team League 2024 WTL Summer Codes Playoffs Day number 2. Oh my god. Good morning, everyone. We were just live with the House Galactic Battle 6 hours ago. Around that. It's been like 6 or 7 hours. We just wrapped up with a 13-hour cast, and now we are back with some more World Team League. If you're curious as to what is going on here, 2 days ago we had day 1 live. Yesterday we were busy covering House Galactic Battle. That was an offline tournament in Poland. We were casting that the whole day. Because of that, we were unable to cover this event. Day number 2 of WTL did occur at the same time. It was clashing with the House Galactic Battle. As a result, we're catching up via replays. Oh boy, we're here catching up via replays, catching up with day 2. And by the time we finish this broadcast, by the time we wrap up with day 2, day 3 will be live. So we go from one event right into the other. Let's go. Let us go. And we were checking. The reason why we are scheduled to start here and now is because this event is going to last for around 6.5 hours. So you got 6.5 hours of day 2, and then bam, 6 hours of day 3. 12-hour cast, Poppy. Let's go. It's an intense weekend. It's a very intense weekend, and we start things off initially with a show match. It is going to be a show match kicking things off. Again, as you can see here, in day 1 we had StarCraft versus CranKy. They faced off in a best of 3. Now we have MaNa versus F91. They're going to be facing off here in the SC Evo mod. If you're curious what the SC Evo mod is, it is an amalgamation. It is kind of a combining of Brood War and SC2. As a result, 6 races, the Brood War races, the SC2 races, they clash here. They're merged together. They're balanced, of course, in their own way. You know, the add-on, the mod is being updated and worked on as we speak. It's been actively updated on or worked on. And we have these 2 players facing off. The way that it works is that it forces Brood War versus SC2. So you never see like SC2 race versus SC2 race or Brood War race versus Brood War race. It does force them both to kind of clash amongst each other, and the players will be taking turns. In the first game, we're going to be seeing, for example, MaNa playing the Brood War Protoss, and then F91 playing the SC2 race, and then they switch and alternate back and forth. That is going to be the plan. And it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, the mod has been quite popular as of late. It's just a really fun, kind of refreshing take on StarCraft 2, kind of like merging it with these other Brood War races as well, and having these different dynamics. Has been a lot of fun, has been very exciting, and we have these 2 players here in this best of 3. Let's go, Pappy, let's go. Okay, look at that Snow White chest. Oh no, don't look at the chest, Pappy, don't look. So, yeah, we do have our 2 players setting up here for the show match. And again, once we wrap up with the show match, we'll be jumping into Team Liquid versus Shopify Rebellion. Oh boy, that will be our first kind of big Team League match coming up here tonight. And I believe the winner will be going up against Weibo Gaming. Let's go. Featuring players like Lambo, featuring players like Hero, featuring many, many others here tonight. Bjorn, Clem, of course, and many others. Let's go. Let us go. And looks like we are just, getting ready to jump on in. We have our vetoes. We have our map order. Okay, game 1 is going to be on Cloud Kingdom, game 2 on Abyssal Reef, and game 3 on a map that I cannot read. Wait, can you guys read that? It's not quite in the English language, so I don't know what it says. I can't quite tell what it is either. Is it Scrap Station? No, it's not Scrap Station. Oh my. Yeah, so unknown third map for the time being, but regardless, we have at least our first 2 maps lined up for us. And we're looking to jump on into that first game. Here we go. Meanwhile, we have some fun facts. We have the strongest player in SC Evo mod, leader of Team Liquid, who claims he can defeat anyone without even using Protoss. Oh, MaNa, strong words. Meanwhile, we have F91, a legendary player across both strategy generations. Oh my god. Of course, legendary. And here we go. We have our first players. We have F91 playing Zerg, and we have MaNa rolling Terran. Okay, so MaNa is rolling SC2 Terran, and F91 is rolling Brood War Zerg. Okay, so an interesting dynamic here. I believe F91's main race is Terran, if I'm not mistaken. But we have seen a lot of off-racing going on in this mod. We've seen SC2 Zerg players that play Zerg, of course, prefer Protoss in Brood War, vice versa, for example. We have seen these players mixing up their races, and we'll see how this does turn out initially, as we have MaNa going for what looks to be a more economic start. We'll see F91 going for his hatch first. Now, something that's interesting about this mod and interesting about how these races work here is, for example, it is more commonplace to rely upon faster hatcheries and more macro hatcheries as Zerg in this matchup, as Brood War Zerg, because there are no queens. There are no queens, there are no injections, so your production is a little more reliant on having more and more hatcheries as a Zerg player. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, there are also some balance constraints as well. The big one, of course, is that a lot of these maps that are being used in the SC Evo mod do not have Reaper cliffs. Because queens are not a thing for Brood War Zerg players, for example, it is harder to defend. Early on, you have to rely on only Lings, you have no queens. Because of that, Reapers can be quite abusive, so Reaper cliffs, for the most part, have been eliminated from a lot of these maps. So Reapers are less effective and less intense in the early game. So here we go. We do have our hatch pool opener here from F91, now going for a gas geyser. Meanwhile, MaNa coming in with an SCV scout. We'll get eyes on what's going on. Second gas already being taken here by F91. I'm curious if he plans on going into a faster lair, into faster Hydras. Ling Hydra is a very common composition here in ZVT. Oh, moment. And MaNa going for the bunker on the high ground, and there is a Reaper cliff. Uh-oh. There is a Reaper cliff on this map. Reaper does dip in, and is going to be harassing the Mineral Lions. And again, that bunker is getting up and running, and F91 has no idea the bunker rush is real. Oh my god. Lings, they try to engage. The bunker's almost done. SCV's under fire. Can it finish? Up, up. Oh my god, and the SCV is going to go down. The bunker is denied, and F91 will defend. Whew. Will force a cancel. As I mentioned before, for a lot of these maps, there are no Reaper cliffs. Clearly on this one, there is. This is Cloud Kingdom, if I remember correctly, so this is an SE2 map. And MaNa was trying to abuse that, but is denied. Meanwhile, double Reaper towards the natural, getting a drone. One drone going to be going down. Going for another as well. As a reminder, again, we have to defend with purely Lings. And F91 is keeping up, but already one drone has fallen. Now we bypass the Lings, we head into the main base. Another drone is going to be going down. And you can see that the Terran player has a little more free reign in between the bases. Yeah, 2 drone kills already. And we're not done. Oh no, Link Speed does kick in though. Yeah, with the help of Link Speed, we should be able to shut this down, but alas, the Reapers, they do manage to escape just in time. Now that Link Speed is done, MaNa has to respect it, has to back off, but has gotten a lot of value already. As he is racing back. Meanwhile, F91 trying to recover, trying to recoup his losses, redroning. Oh, and I was curious if it was going to be Ling Hydra, but the answer is no. We rush into a lair, and it's going to be 2-base Muta out of F91. Okay, now the Muta is quite a different unit. The Brood War Muta, I should say. The Brood War Muta does have extra range. Because of that, the micro potential of the Brood War Muta is greater than that of the SE2 Muta. The +1 range actually is a big factor. And it's crazy how much value you can get done with those mutas. Meanwhile, Lings, they dive into the mineral line. 1 Reaper goes down. 3 SCVs as well. Oh my god. The SCVs, they melted, papi. Not bad. Not a bad counterattack, keeping the Reapers busy back at home. And MaNa is in the dark as to what's going on. Is in the dark as to, you know, the build of choice, the tech of choice of F91. You have a Sunken Colony back at home. Spire almost done. There's that macro hatch, as we did mention, again, because there's no queens, because there's no injects, macro hatches are a lot more important, especially in the early game. As MaNa attempts to go for the dive, but is zoned out of the main. Sunken Colony finishing up here on the low ground. And as a result, MaNa is unaware of the Spire. Yeah, the Spire is now done. Third base now being taken for F91. Muta should be on the horizon. F91 a little bit supply blocked, unfortunately. 4 Overlords on the way, but once he breaks out, the Mutas, they can come. Oh no, but the scan into the main base. MaNa now aware what's going on. And again, the Muta production was delayed because of the supply block. And MaNa has even more time to respond. Turrets are on the way. Oh, Scourge? Wait, what? F91, I mean, I guess because he got scouted, maybe he's deterred from going into Mutas, so he's got 2 Scourge on the way instead. Interesting. Again, I do think the original plan was Muta play, but okay, there we go. There we go. We have a handful of Muta now on the way as well. The Mutas are in production. Double Lever Chamber finishing off with those melee upgrades. And we'll see what kind of direction MaNa takes us in. For now, it's going to be okay, Bio. Double factory already, which is interesting. But is doubling down, getting into mass marine production. Mutas are on the way, but I have a hard time seeing them getting much damage done. The other important thing about this show match is this is a very unique show match. The loser advances on. The loser does advance on into the next round, not the winner. It is a show match to find the biggest chicken, is from my understanding. the production, they're having fun. They're having fun. As the Mutas, they do dip in, threading the mineral line. And catching a Marine, then pulling away. But yeah, referring to the Mutas once again when it comes to their potential and how much damage they can get done. Again, they do have 1 extra range compared to the SE2 Muta. Because of that, we have seen them taking a lot less hits than we otherwise would. And perceived to be a little bit tankier than the SE2 Muta as well. Just because they're taking less damage as they're a little bit further away. Can kite that much easier as well. As you do see the Marines, 2 of them do go down. The Muta's getting low. Oh my god! 1 Muta goes down. A little bit unfortunate there, but most of the Marines did fall. 3 SCVs. Even up to 4 SCVs. Decent trades from F91. He's popping off. Let's go. Getting another worker. And another gas geyser as well. Behind this, we can see MaNa setting up a bit of a trap. We've got Widow Mines towards the south. More Mutas on the way. Oh, that's a lot of Widow Mines. that's a lot of mines, papi. Another Muta falls. That's 2 Mutas going down. 3 Mutas going down. F91 will attempt to get away, getting another SCV, punishing MaNa for the mules. The mines. Oh my god. Marshall goes off, another Muta goes down. These have been some expensive losses for F91, but he does replenish his Muta force. Oh my god. The mines! No! Oh my god. Another massive mine connection, but they collapse on top of the bio. Marines are going down, medevac as well. But these have been some brutal trades. Behind this, F91 getting into more hatcheries, reinforcing with mass ling. 1-1 is done. Getting into 2-2. You can see F91 rushing into ultras. Okay, the hive has completed. And the lings, they drag some of the mines for friendly fire. Still 1 mine left. It does get dragged over. Medevac's going down. And the winner mines to do quite a lot here to help out F91. Takes down a lot of the bio. And gets 16 SCVs in the blink of an eye. So much economic damage being dealt. MaNa struggling a little bit here. Down to 39 workers. It did look like the winner mines did a lot more damage to the bio than the Lings. It's not gonna lie. I did see some medevacs falling to the mine shots. As MaNa does pull away. Sorry, F91 does pull away, rotating around. Looking for another way in. And we do see F91 just mass expanding on a solid economy. Still droning up, still investing and working towards ultras. Not there yet. Oh, and this position is that much more fortified. Now with tanks, now with a lot more marines. Yeah, F91, he has to respect it. He has to back off. Now, as you can imagine, without any banelings, the bio army here looks terrifying. That is true from MaNa. He doesn't have to split, doesn't have to spread. But that's why ultras are that much more important. F91, he does need those ultras. Army stims in, and F91, he has to back off. No, sorry, he wants to try to engage. Goes for the tank. Not bad. Gets a tank, gets us around. Oh, Mutas are being targeted, but the Lings, they go to town on those Marines. Oh my god. The Lings, they are cracked. And they shut the Marines down. And catching out the medevacs. 2 medevacs do fall. The winter mines were left at home. They were not a part of the main fight. And that's 5 ultras in production. The ultras, they're coming, papi. They just want hugs. Ultras are on the way. F91 has to make sure he doesn't engage ahead of time, not prematurely. Pulling away. Oh. Meanwhile, the Reapers from the early game were kept alive, and they do scout the ultras. Yeah, big scout here from MaNa, and that is a sign to start working towards Ghosts. Ghost production, potentially Liberators as well. Let's see if MaNa can get there. But now still sticking with Marine Wintermine. What is this? SC1 versus SC2 in WTL? Show match, Neo. Show match. It's a bit of a pre-show to the main event. So pre-show is F91 rallying across. The Ultra is now part of the main army. Overlord's coming in as well. Of course, Overlords are detectors in SC1 in Brood War. So instead of Overseers, you just have the Overlords. Oh, meanwhile, double drop on the right-hand side, and the Zerg player, F91, he's out of position. Massive mine shots going off. You have a double drop on the right, a drop towards the left. Bases are going down, 20 drones. And F91, he races back home. That's a kill, not a cancel on the hatchery. 2 hatcheries going down. Some rough losses for F91. Oh, the mine shot. Oof, big connection as well. F91 struggling to keep up. Will shut down the drops, but they've more than paid for themselves. They've done a lot. You know, I miss when Overlords were detectors. Good times. Defiler's coming into the mix. Of course, they can Dark Swarm. That's going to be a big part of the melee-based army. Those that are curious, Dark Swarm, it means that only melee attacks will connect. It's kind of like the It's kind of like the opposite of the Microbial Shroud. I mean, it's kind of similar. Where Microbial Shroud does kind of protect you from air attacks, for example, the ground army from air attacks. Meanwhile, Dark Swarm makes it so only melee damage can be dealt. Ooh, as the Bio Army does catch out an Ultra. Ultra almost going down. The Dropper Lords are exposed. He wants them. The Dropper Lords. It's going to be forced to unload. Muse is going to be going down. Defiler's coming in. And the Ultras will clean this up. There's the Dark Swarm. Protecting the Ultras. Yo, I'm so jealous that Brood War Zerg gets Dark Swarm. Like, it's actually useful. Unlike Microbial Shroud. Smoge, Boppy, Smoge. I feel like every time I cast this mod, I think I always come to the conclusion where like I just get like jealous of what brutal races have. It's like, oh, this would be nice. Like same with like Irradiate, for example, on science vessels, which is a cool concept. The ensnare of the queen. Meanwhile, Ling Ultra does hit the forward base. Planetary does go down. Mine shots going off. Big connections here on the Ultras, but there's still just an overwhelming swarm coming in for F91. He's breaking through the front lines. A Dark Swarm once again protecting the Ultras. Will collapse on in. Massive mine shots once again, though. Do we have any of Overlords? Do we have any detection? Uh-oh. We do not know. The Defilers. Defilers are going down. Widow Mines are about to reset. No detection. Yeah, Scourge coming in to take down those medevacs. But the Ultras are running out of steam. There's only 2 Ultras left. And again, all those Widow Mines are resetting. Oh no, the Ultra can't escape. The mine shots. Oh my god. Yeah, unfortunately, just no detection during the fight. And with that, MaNa comes out on top with quite a bit of spare supply. Did lose 21 SCVs. True. I mean, MaNa barely has an economy. He's down to 37 workers. So despite the Widow Mines resetting, despite the main army, the army supply even retaining itself, F91 can rebuild, can remax. MaNa having a harder time. That's 3 more Ghosts are on the way. F91 embracing more Ultra. Has to replace those Defilers, of course. MaNa going for drop play. Going for bottom right. He's going to be stimming in. Going for the hatchery. Sunken Colony's not done. They're not done yet. They need a little bit more time. Scourge coming in. Up. They want to connect. They just want to go off. The Scourge, they will. Yeah, boost runs out. Both medevacs fall. Nice cleanup from MaNa. Sorry, from F91. MaNa being forced back, contained on 3 bases. MaNa is at least holding on to these 3 bases, but sorry, yeah, to these 3 bases, but the 4th is it's not going to finish. It's not going to get up and running. I guess the downside of Overlords here in this kind of game state is, unlike Overseers, they don't have extended range. So they're a lot more vulnerable to whatever it is they're revealing. So mine shots are going off, but this time we have detection. We have the detection. Widow Mines going down. Massive mine connections. Ooh, and no Dark Swarm this time. Yeah, the Ultras, they take a lot of damage. Take a lot of hits, have to back off. 2 more Defilers now in production. Again, the importance of Defilers in the mix is accentuated here. So Ultras are a little bit less tanky compared to in SC2. Oh, Overlord's being caught out. MaNa going for a move out. You may see this, and he is down in supply, but he's actually comparable when it comes to the army supply. Yeah, big mine shots going off. Ultras, they come in for a surround. Yeah, they come in from behind the collapse on the Bio Army. And despite the kiting, the Ultras should clean this up. Yeah, they force the pickup. MaNa has to retreat. Widow Mines will not reset this time. There is detection. MaNa has to pull back. Again, it is quite impressive just how much you can do with so little in this kind of setup. Where MaNa's down, what, half the supply? But, I mean, that fight was still quite competitive. But the reality is that he does need another base up and running. He does need another expansion to sustain himself. Without it, he will run out of steam and just run out of resources. Ducklings is mining. F91 pushing forward. And this time the Defilers are ready. Going for the Plague. Let's go. Plague has been thrown down. Ultras, they dive in, and GG gets called. There's just not enough Terran. SC boy F91 will take game number 1. Whew. GG. F91 will take the first game. And not a bad performance here from our Zerg player. MaNa had his own moments, don't get me wrong, but was having such a hard time maintaining his economy, keeping his SCVs actually up and running to be able to get into a 4th base, into even a 3rd as well. And MaNa just ran out of steam over time. Was popping off with his multi-pronged aggression. I want to say that the attacks of MaNa were quite successful, sniping bases, sniping mineral lines, but defending back at home and actually maintaining an economy, that was a bit of a different story. And over time, MaNa did just run out of units, run out of supply, run out of minerals there. GG. GG, well played. F91 does take the first game, and we'll see if MaNa can bounce back. We'll see if he can, as we're going to be getting into a bit of an old school map. We're going to be loading into Abyssal Reef. Oh my god. Abyssal Reef. It's, when was this in the map pool? 2018? It's been years. It's been a long time since Abyssal Reef was in the map pool. And once again, we're going under the sea. In the bottom right hand corner, we have F91 rolling the SC2 Zerg race. In the top left, we have MaNa rolling the Brood War Protoss. Okay. So now F91 is playing SC2 and MaNa is playing Brood War. The roles have been reversed. MaNa embracing Protoss. Interesting that he's now rolling Protoss. Remember, if you recall earlier in the captions that we had, MaNa's caption was that he felt confident that he would win even without playing Protoss as main race. Clearly not the case anymore. Clearly after that first loss, MaNa, he's angry, he's upset. He's not off racing anymore. Those who are curious, those who may be unaware, MaNa, he is a main race Protoss player in SC2 as well. Again, he chose to play Terran earlier. Now, back to Protoss. Meanwhile, F91 going for a proxy hatch. The drone has arrived. We have the money for it, or we're about to. Oh, not quite. Wait, going for a drone scout? What's the plan? What is the plan? As F91 is going to be delaying the expansion, being as annoying as possible. He expands back at home. Okay, so it's just a scout. Oh god. There we go. Does get the hatchery. Does barely get it in time. Is this a replay? Yes. We are catching up from yesterday. There we go. As we see MaNa getting across map, Forge is on the way. MaNa is attempting a cannon rush. He's crazy. Yeah, pylons have been thrown down. No, he doesn't wall off. The drones make it through. And can MaNa establish those cannons? Pylons are about to finish. Forge is about to finish up as well. But the pylons are denied. And F91, he's patrolling for those cannons. Oh my god. The probe taking a lot of damage. The probe goes down, and just like that, the cannon rush will fail. Ay. I'm curious if the pylons are thinner for the Brood War pylons. Because, again, I was a little bit shocked to see that MaNa wasn't able to, like, box himself in for the cannons. Which is usually how SC2 cannon rushes work. So I'm a little bit unfamiliar, if you're maybe a little bit more so. If you're more informed about the size of pylons between the Brood War and SC2 race. It would be interesting to know if they are thinner or if they were just misplaced. As the drone is going to be shut down, MaNa can finally expand. But did invest quite heavily into that cannon rush, and unfortunately did not quite come together. Overlord going to be zoned away. Ling's moving out to try to catch the Dragoon. F91 so far just happily droning, investing in purely Lings. The Overlord is going to go down, and we'll see if the Dragoon can escape. Will attempt to, but eventually should be locked down by the Lings. They try to get this around, but the second Dragoon has arrived. And with that, MaNa does defend. Rushing to +1 attack. Robo's on the way, and we'll see if MaNa does work towards Reavers. There's the shuttle. I'm feeling the Reavers, Pappy. We'll keep an eye on whether or not we throw down a bay. For now, just the Robo. There it is. The bay is on the way. Reavers are on the horizon. If you're curious, again, Reavers are kind of like Disruptors. Kind of. They're more terrifying, I would say. As, Reavers, of course, they lock onto units as opposed to having to control the shot individually, as you would with a Disruptor. The downside, of course, is that Reavers have to create their bullets in a way. They have to create scarabs to shoot. So they do eventually run out of DPS in a way. They need time to regenerate and build up their scarabs once again. On top of that, they're also insanely slow. they're very slow units. But there it is. Warp Prison speed is being researched. Sorry, I say Warp Prison speed. Shuttle speed. Shuttle speed is being researched. We have Dragoon range as well on the horizon. And MaNa is working towards Reaver drops. Is it a best of 3? Yes. Yes, it's a best of 3. F91 is up 1-0. And F91 needs one more game to close it out. MaNa has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Pressure is on MaNa. As we do see MaNa moving out. He has the one Reaver in the shuttle. One Reaver so far. Gonna be poking onto creep here with those Dragoons. And these Dragoons, they should be safe from a Lynx around because of the Reaver. As we're holding onto that shot. Zoning the Lynx away. Ooh, going for the building even. Yeah, Spine Cooler goes down. Lynx, they collapse in. They're going for the Reaver. They do manage to target it down. Nice juggling here from MaNa. Does barely save it. Big Reaver shots going off. Dragoons, they go into town and they shut down the Hydras. Boys are being pulled, but there's barely an army left here for F91. He will barely focus down the Dragoons. Oh my god. Gets all 3. And F91 does defend. It was a costly defense. He lost all of his queens. He lost a lot of lings. There it is, 22 lings and 3 queens went down. But F91 defends. He holds. And he doesn't lose many drones. Meanwhile, MaNa, he's yet to reach his final form. Shuttle speed is now done. And now we have 2 Reavers. 2 Reavers coming in, this time looking for economic damage. And making their way towards the mineral line. F91 has to rebuild his queens. Getting into Hydra speed. Still droning. And we'll see what kind of damage we can get done here as we're going for that. We're going for the mineral line. And the drop is coming in. Shots going off. They can one-shot drones. 4 drone kills so far. Oh my god, they do stack up for a moment. Oh, 10 drone kills. And a lot of lings. It's always fascinating to see the scarab shots because they do like twirls sometimes. They can be fancy. Meanwhile, the Hydras, oh, they try to zone away the Prism. 1 Reaver goes down. Just the 1. A still better trades for MaNa. Dropping down to the low ground. Getting another big shot off. 3 drone kills. And with that, MaNa has to back off. Behind this, just doubling down, and his army composition of choice is going to be Dragoon Reaver. Made solid against Zerg. Still looking for more damage. Going for another mineral line. Hydra still amassing. Reaver catching 1 drone. And F91 will defend. But alas, his drone count is looking a little bit lackluster. Down to 45 workers. Now heavily droning. Spires on the way. The Spire makes sense. The Spire is just a secure way to shut down the shuttle, to shut down the Reaver harass. To invest into those mutas. I mean, in general, we could even commit to the tech switch, go mass muta, try to snowball out of control. It can be a little bit more difficult as the Brood War Protoss to defend against mass muta. You have to rely a lot more on stack defense. As you can imagine, there's no blink for the Dragoons, so the Dragoons are less mobile. So you have to rely on stack defense to buy time to allow your Dragoons to rotate and respond. And likewise, Storm as well. Like, Storm is going to be a big part of the defense. Meanwhile, shuttle's moving forward. Big shots going off. Catching 2 Hydras. Same time, Lings, they go for a big runway. The wall is open. The wall is not a wall. Lings into the natural. Lings into the main as well. Their probes are going down. Ooh, and this is very quickly stacking up. That's 5, 6 probe kills. And MaNa has yet to scout the main. Has yet to scout across the map. The Spire does finish. Lings being shut down by the Reavers. It's going to be 8 meters on the way. That's still quite expensive here for F91. And MaNa pushing onto creep. This choke point on the ramp is brutal as well. Oh my god. Speaking of, they do shut down the prism. Shuttle, you know what I mean. I keep saying prism. Shuttle gets sniped. Reaver as well. Nice pickups here from F91. Another Reaver's waddling across the map. It'll get across the map in a couple of minutes. It's getting there. Kappa. It's waddling in. Stormers on the horizon. Mutas have arrived. No, but a head-on fight against Dragoons. Yeah, Mutas, they can't really do much here. They can go for the Reaver. Yeah, they're going to try and target it down. The Reaver does fall. A big Skype shot's going off. The Mutas are, for the most part, cleaned up. But F91 does defend. Shuts down the Reavers. Forces back the main army. And we'll catch even more of these Dragoons. And Storm is not yet done for MaNa. Is concerning. Now, what I appreciate about this format as well, or this kind of mod, is that it's difficult to really find room to breathe and drone up. F91, he's still on only 63 workers. At this point, we should be at 80 if this was SE2. But because fights are occurring a lot more frequently, a lot earlier as well, like droning heavily like that, it's a little bit more difficult to pull off. Let's here we go. We do see a bit of a dive in towards the natural. Link slipping in. Taking out the gateway. Going for the forge. But here come the storms. The storm is dodged, is avoided. High Templar going down. Oh my god, a much better storm though. A lot of Hydras go down. And with that, MaNa will defend. Oh, these are expensive losses for F91. Bleeding out a lot of Hydras. Hydras do go down. Going back into Muta. 9 more Mutas on the way. Getting into additional Muta production. MaNa has been able to maintain himself. Despite these Ling runbys and these Ling counterattacks, we haven't actually seen many worker kills. With that, MaNa now taking a 4th. 70 probes. And is able to move out once again. Meanwhile, Mutas, they catch reinforcements. They catch one of the Reavers. Not bad. Catch a Reaver. A High Templar. Oh my god! 1, 2! 2 High Templar go down! Massive pickoffs! And we're going for a bit of a base trade, as we're going to be trading one base for another. F91, he ignores the main army, going across the map. Gets us up with the cannons. And cannons are going down. Dragoons as well. The cannons are putting in a lot of work, is what I will say. But eventually we'll be overwhelmed. At the same time, MaNa pushing in up the ramp, but there are spine coolers waiting for him. Yeah, spines are in position. 3 more spine coolers on the way. And can F91 hold on as he takes down the entire mineral line? 30 probes going down. And now the Mutas are racing back home. There is one Archon. Ooh, High Templar gets sniped. Very nice control. F91 sniping a High Templar. Ling spotting in as well. We're coming for the surround. The Archon is targeted, and F91 is going to completely clean this up. And MaNa, even with his main race, struggling here against F91. He gets shut down, barely an economy back at home. F91 now is here to bring down those bases. Nexus gets surrounded. The Nexus is going to fall. There's no saving it. And MaNa knows it. He has to pull away. Ooh, and MaNa not losing just the 4th, the 3rd base as well. Some brutal losses from MaNa. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, losing both Nexi. High Templar going down as well. The Muta control. Let's go. As the Mutas, they dive in. Deny another storm. And alas, MaNa just cannot keep up. Contained on one base. Behind this, F91 freely mining, taking another expansion. There's going to be some DT harass coming in. Has potential, but actually there is no spore. Okay. Overseers are on the way. 3 drones go down. F91 forced to race back home. Does race back, but alas, again, F91 should be able to look to max out from this point, as he's eclipsing MaNa in supply. Storms is still good though. With some solid storms, then we could still pull this off. Speaking of, oh my god! Okay, not a bad storm. The meters are softened up. There's one more storm in the chamber. So one more storm to go. MaNa is attempting to reestablish that third base. Zella run by the right-hand side. Dragoon's moving out, so they're going to be vulnerable to the Lings. F91 does make his way into the main. At the same time, though, these counterattacks from MaNa have a lot of potential. And probes are going down. Zealots, they hit to the right-hand side. Dragoons, they hit the left. And drones are falling. And MaNa's basically all in. It's all or nothing for MaNa. Music go for a counterattack. They do find the High Templar. Pylons under fire. 27 drones going down. F91 going to be losing everything back at home. We could just go for a proper base trade. What I mean by that, we could just go for the elimination. And F91, he may just attempt to kill all the buildings. Yeah, we're going for the buildings instead. There is a DT to defend. Oh my god, Bailey's, they crash into the High Templar. One High Templar left. Lings crashing in, and it feels like MaNa just doesn't have enough to break through that defensive line of Spine Crawlers. Just not enough. DT goes down, and MaNa, he's running out of buildings. No. He's down to one base. There is a gas geyser at the third. But there's barely any buildings left. And yeah, MaNa, he's racing back home. There is no recall. I mean, not without an Arbiter. Not with this kind of tech. And by the time MaNa gets back home, he's going to lose everything. He's going to lose every single building. There's nothing left. The one gas geyser. Yeah, there's two gas geysers and a pylon. And MaNa just cannot save it. GG gets called. And F91 will take the 2-0. GG. Oh my god. The caster himself. Oh my god. You have his team celebrating as well. Fun fact, yesterday it was predicted, Chaussee predicted that F91 would bomb out. Chaussee had no faith. No faith, Papi. GG, well played. F91 will take the 2-0. Very well done. Congratulations. My condolences to MaNa, but what I will say is that we will see some more MaNa action. Don't you worry. I mentioned before that the way that this show match works, it's a bracket, single elimination bracket, and the loser advances. The loser does advance on, so tomorrow, or not tomorrow, later on tonight, Crank versus MaNa are going to be facing off in a best of 3 to determine who is the biggest chicken. There you go. They are going to be facing off. So best of luck to both MaNa and to Crank. And again, congratulations to F91 and Chaussee for winning their matches. Dragoons, is this a different WTL? No, this is a show match ahead of time. So before WTL, a show match was held using the SE Evo mod, which combines SE1 and SE2. Does combine them. Oh, actually, it looks like they're gonna play all 3 games. It looks like despite it being a best of 3, it looks like they do plan on playing out all 3 games regardless. So let's go. Do appreciate it. F91 has won the overall series, but they will not deprive us of that final game. So do appreciate it. Do appreciate it here as our players are setting up. So just adjusting the volume. Let's go. But yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the final map. As you can see, there's no English name on it. So game 1 was on Cloud Kingdom, game 2 was on Abyssal Reef, and game 3 is on A map. A map. Yeah, let's go. Jump into game 3. And we'll see if MaNa can redeem himself in this final game. Now, for those that are curious, game 1, F91 played Brood War Zerg. Game 2, he played SE2 Zerg. And game 3, I believe, is relied upon with a coin flip. The players a coin flip to determine whether which race they can pick, whether it's SE2 or Brood War. So we'll see what our players land upon. Game 1 and 2, they were alternating. Game 3 is more up in the air. Is going to be more up in the air instead, and here we go. We are jumping on in, and in the bottom right hand corner we have F91 rolling Zerg, and in the top left we have MaNa rolling Protoss. Here we go. Here we go as we are loading into one of these more older maps. Wait, is this SE2 versus SE2? Is that what's happening? I could be mistaken here. I'm curious, but I can only tell by looking at the graphics, the unit models on the left hand side. But am I crazy? It's SE2 versus SE2, right? Okay. F91 force take the unnatural natural by that initial scouting probe. And it looks like MaNa's going for a gate cyber expand or a gate expand into cybercore. Yeah, I think this is StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 2. Right? Yeah. Okay, okay. I guess they have agreed. They have agreed to play just a straight up StarCraft 2 game instead. Wait, have they? That does look like the Brood War skin for MaNa. Oh wait. Line wait. I'm referring to the Nexus. I think it's SE2. Yeah. Meanwhile, F91 going hatch gas pool into a very fast third base. Okay. F91 rushing to the third real quick. So quite greedy here from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, our Protoss back at home is setting up for a proxy. Yeah, let's go. Proxy being sent out. The base restarts. Hands up in the air. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is SE2 versus SE2, right? Yep, yeah, I mean, we have an Adept on the way, so... yeah, that does confirm. Proxy Stargate here from MaNa. So it looks like they have agreed. They have agreed to just throw the SE Evo mod to the side and just play a straight up StarCraft 2 match instead. As Adepts are moving out, likewise Queens are amassing. I mean, it makes sense, especially considering that this match has a little bit less weight to it, because F91's already won the series. So I appreciate that they agreed to allow MaNa to showcase his skill. As of course, MaNa is a pro player with SE2. He is heavily more favored here, so he can kind of flex a little bit more. The Proxy Oracle's on the way. Not something you see often, but to try to punish the greed of F91, this makes sense. One drone goes down. MaNa shading away. Does shade away, but now with two Adepts can one-shot drones, is going to be denied entry into the third. F91 holding his own. But the Oracle has arrived. MaNa going for the natural. Catching a couple of workers, two drones go down. Oof, Oracle does fall though. Not the best trade for MaNa, and yeah, the face. MaNa pouting a little bit with that Oracle going down. Not like this. And this proxy has not paid for itself. This is a big committed move here out of MaNa, and it's kind of falling on its face a little bit here. MaNa does shade in. Shaves off a couple of lings, denying some mining time. Oh my god, the Oracle gets into the main base, but the Queen's are in position. No! The Oracle! Two drones go down to the Adept, so the Oracle takes a lot of hull damage. And so far, F91, he's popping off. He's still got it, Pappy. He's still got it. MaNa attempting to dive in. I'm making use of the steam vents here. Denying vision from the queens. The Lings, they collapse forward. They shut down both adepts. And this initial aggression from MaNa was not worth it. Third base on the way behind this. We'll see if we can hold on to it. Going for a Twilight Council follow-up. This looks like a Glaive Adept follow-up from MaNa. As there is no Forge. There is no +1 upgrade. So F91 does defend his third base. We'll keep an eye on that Twilight Council. Yep, there it is. It is going to be Glaives. So Stargate, Oracle into a third, into Glaive Adepts. Very aggressive, very committed here from MaNa. If 91 skips his Roach Warren, he's going to be in trouble. Without Roaches or without Banelings, defending against Mass Glaive Adept is not going to be easy. Oh, as actually, MaNa, he cancels. He cancels Glaives. Oh, okay. Does cancel Glaives, starts up a Forge and Blink. Working towards a longer game. But that is going to delay Blink by quite some time. And that means that F91 is not going to be punished. F91, he throws down a Hydrogen. If MaNa had committed with Glaive Adepts, F91, I think he'd just die. I think he would just fall over. Because he would only have Ling Hydra to defend. But Ling Hydra is ideal against Blink Stalkers. So a little bit of indecision there out of MaNa, and F91 is going to come out a little bit more favored as a result. As I say that, though, the Hydrogen just now finished, and MaNa is moving out. We're warping in 5 Stalkers at a time. Still being very in his face. With the Proxy Gateway, 3-base all in. Yeah. MaNa, he's going for a 3-base all in, at least attempting to. But Blink is late. Stalker's pushing forward. Link's diving in. The Stasis Trap, though, up! He's baited out. But these Oracles, they just annihilate the Lings. The Lings are cleaned up, and F91, he's in trouble. He needs reinforcements. He needs more Lings, more Hydras, but alas, he's being shut down. And MaNa, even without Blink, by the way, these Stalkers are breaking through. Adepts, they get into the Mineral Lines, and F91, he cannot keep up. He needs more time, and time is just something he does not have. As Stalkers, they focus on the Hydras one after the other. And this 3-base all-in from MaNa is still hitting strong. It's a little bit of a wonky 3-base all-in just because the upgrades aren't lined up the way that they otherwise would be, but it's fine. it's fine. We don't need the upgrades. We don't need it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. As we dive into the main base, Hydrogen does fall. No more Hydras here for F91. And these Link Stalkers, they should be able to break through and clean up the main. Yeah, Lings and Hydras are trickling in. These Hydras are so vulnerable, so exposed. Boys are being pulled. Oh, the Stasis pops off. The Stasis does catch the Mineral Line. Yeah, and GG gets called. It's just too much. GG. MaNa will take the game and will fight back for himself, for his pride, and for his team. GG. The MaNa face. GG, well played. Again, a bit of a shaky build overall and a shaky game, but MaNa, he brought it back. The initial proxy Stargate wasn't really worth it in the end. It did kind of fall in its face, but the follow-up 3-base all-in did hit very hard, and F91 was caught with his pants down, barely did not have enough units to survive against that Blink Stalker push, against that timing. Was overwhelmed in the end. GG. GG, well played. With that, we will have a 2-1 score here in this best of 3. Do love to see it. And now we can calm things down and get ready for the main event. We might have a winner's interview though. Yeah, we're gonna have an interview. If anyone can translate, I would appreciate it. I don't think they're gonna translate in English. I don't think. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Meanwhile, shout out to Xiaose and XY. XY was casting, of course. Was casting, and I think they're gonna have a cheeky interview. F91, how does it feel bringing down one of the young pro gamers out there? Let's find out.
恭喜孙哥，孙哥今天打得可真不错。但是我们解说席上的2位以及我们屏幕前的观众朋友们都非常的不开心啊，孙哥，他们看到你晋级了，好像不是很高兴。
其实我觉得，这个不是我没有晋级，我是被淘汰了。
对，就是你今天在这边来赛后采访了，他们都不是很高兴。
其实没有什么不高兴的，我觉得这个比赛嘛，对吧？对待比赛还是要认真一点的。虽然我没有怎么练，但是呢，我还是在比赛前脑海中是过了一把这个战术要怎么去执行，然后想了想，第一盘包括自杀制空，然后龙狗转牛，然后第二把我知道他肯定是要会选择神捕的，这些一切都还在我的意料之中嘛。总的来说的话，MaNa选手希望明天的比赛能够继续加油吧。
一切尽在孙哥的掌握之中。我为孙哥证明啊，他在赛前一把星际都没有打过，所以他刚上去的时候发挥的这么好，我们都非常的惊讶。你说句老实话，你有没有假装在我们面前打 DOTA， 其实自己私下疯狂猛练？
并没有，其实是这样，就是比赛的话，就你不管是正式比赛、表演赛，你到了那个时候，你的专注度就会非常的集中，跟平常你直播的状态是完全不一样的。所以，然后再加上你赛前你会有大概1个钟头左右的一个脑补的时间，然后这就是你们所谓的冥想时间，然后会想对方会怎么打，然后我应该怎么应对，然后按照我的节奏来这样子，然后中间可能会出一些问题嘛，包括我第一盘这个飞龙塔好了，我卡人口了，那这个是很正常的。但是总的来说，就按照我脑海中的计划在这么进行的，所以最终还是赢了。
所以孙哥，你是承认平时直播的时候是在演自己很菜咯？
那也不是，因为直播的时候你又要看弹幕，又要跟弹幕互动，然后你没有办法把这个专注度提高的非常的高，所以这个就完全不一样。那比赛没有人打扰你嘛，那这样的话你就可以就把自己专注度集中起来，这样的话会打得比较的好看。
可是黄哥说，因为你不识字，所以平时从来不看弹幕啊。
其实我还是看的。
好的，大家知道了吗？孙哥是看弹幕的，现在可以在弹幕上打出孙哥真不错，待会儿来给他看一下。那也是恭喜孙哥今天战胜了 MaNa， 那明天 MaNa 会和 CranKy 要会师决赛了。那孙哥预测一下，明天 MaNa 跟 CranKy 谁会成为真正鸡霸王的鸡霸杯的鸡霸？
我感觉他们两个如果新加的话，肯定 MaNa 能够获胜嘛。那新机的话，感觉伯仲之间啊，而且明天 MaNa 绝对不会想成为鸡霸的呀，对不对？不会想拿冠军的呀。所以我认为明天 MaNa 的这个获胜还是就获胜概率比较大一些。但我要告诉大家一件事情，平常在直播间我经常小丑，我也承认，但是在比赛的时候哥还是有实力的。
哥太有实力了，看看现在的孙哥，耶！好，感谢孙哥接受我们的采访，我们一会儿有正赛带给大家。